Chapter 16. The Fall of Adam. Adam followed the crowd. A crowd might mean a minstrel, and the minstrel might be Roger. He was in a part of Winchester that he had not yet explored, south of the King's Gate, near St. Michael's Church. When they came to the churchyard, the group that Adam was following merged into a larger crowd and came to a halt. Adam tried to worm his way through to find out what they were looking at, but he could not, for they all stood closely together and stuck out their elbows defensively at any pressure from behind. "What is it? What is going on?" said Adam to a man beside him. "It's a miracle play. They've been announcing it all over the parish. We've not had one since Plough Monday." The man raised his voice. "Move a little closer up front, can't you? We can't see back here." From the front came an angry "shh." Adam tried to creep in around the edges, but the mass of people pressed up tight against the churchyard wall. It must be a good play, he thought. He joggled the elbow of a lanky man who had brought a stool to stand on. "Please, sir, what play are they giving?" he asked in a loud whisper. He had seen the resurrection play performed in the market-place at St. Albans at Easter time, and that had been wonderful. "It's the Fall of Adam," said the man. "It's already begun. See that platform? That's paradise. They've got it rigged up for the fair this time." "Shh," said somebody. So it was the Fall of Adam, was it? All the more reason why Adam Quatermain ought to see it, and by hook or crook he would. An idea struck him. He turned and ran out through the churchyard gate and along the wall outside till he came to the place where it met the church itself, at a right angle. It was high and offered fewer footholds than the abbey wall at St. Albans had done. He thought of Perkin and wished that he were there too. But by using the church to brace knees and elbows against, he managed with a heave and a puff and a scraping to get himself up. Then he ran along the top till he found the spot from which he had the best view, and sat down with his legs dangling over into the churchyard. Below him on the right was the audience. Rising above him on the left was the old stone church. Directly in front, and a little below the level of his eyes, was the platform rigged up to represent paradise. It was hung with curtains from about 3 feet above its floor all the way to the ground below, and above the curtains showed a wealth of green boughs hung with flowers and fruit. One leafless sapling stood by itself, with large green apples tied to its branches. Above the curtains, which hid the lower part of their bodies, Adam, in a scarlet tunic, and Eve in a white silk gown and cloak, could be seen moving about with evident enjoyment. Now and then they took a pear or a plum from one of the bushes, but they shuddered away from the apple tree. Underneath the platform, evidently, was hell, for several demons in black with black faces came running out from between the curtains. They looked up at paradise and pointed out the forbidden apples to Eve. Adam on the wall was delighted. He wished that he were down there playing the part of one of the demons. Then a bigger demon, with horns and tail, approached Adam in paradise, and suggested that he have an apple, which he declined with a burst of righteous indignation. The big demon joined the little demons, and they all went into hell to confer. Now came one of the most exciting moments of the play. The audience apparently knew that it was coming, for they whispered and craned their necks eagerly. Up from the bushes beside the apple tree, waving back and forth as if it were really alive, came a large and hideous serpent. He spoke to Eve in a coaxing voice that came, appropriately, from underneath the platform. "I tell you sooth, I will not lie. Come eat the fruit. You shall not die, for God doth know, though he disguise, who eats this fruit is straightway wise. His eyes see far, and he does grow, himself a god, and all things know." This was too much for Eve. She took an apple from the tree, untying it with some difficulty, bit it, and handed it to Adam, who ate up the rest of it. As soon as he had thrown away the core, however, remorse set in. He ran away and hid, disappearing from the view of the audience below the curtains. But Adam Quatermain, from his high seat on the wall, could see the other Adam crouched in a corner of the platform, changing his scarlet tunic for a rough green one sewn together in the semblance of fig leaves. From the church door a figure in a surplice and stole came forth and mounted the steps to paradise. Eve in her turn ran and hid, and changed her shining white silk cloak for a drab and ragged one. It was no use their hiding. They had to come forth and stand with bowed heads before the figure, while with fearful denunciation he drove them out of paradise. A sigh that was almost a groan swept the audience. Adam Quartermain hitched himself forward on the stone wall, hoping to see more of the demons. Slowly descending the steps from paradise, Adam carried a spade and Eve a distaff and spindle, as symbols of the work that they would now have to do to earn their bread. Adam delved in the ground with the spade, and Eve spun, and both wept and groaned, stopping now and then to point longingly up at paradise, while the demons ran out from under the platform and planted thorns and thistles in the earth where Adam was digging. As if that were not enough, more devils came forth and hung clanking iron chains on the necks of Adam and Eve. With horrible grimaces and loud shouting and booing, they dragged the poor sinners off to hell and pushed them in through the curtains. The demons outside did a dance of triumph, and the demons inside set up a great clashing of pots and kettles. Adam on the wall leaned over to see better. Finally, just when the din was at its most terrific, actual smoke gushed out from between the curtains. At this culmination of realism, Adam Quartermain fell off the wall.